Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from Major League Baseball, NHL, and UFC, and professional golf, BetOnline remains the number one source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline's casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
If you're looking to streamline your audio advertising buys and maximize your revenue, look no further than Triton Digital's programmatic audio advertising exchange, A2X. The private exchange consists of only licensed broadcasters and top-tier internet radio publishers, assuring the quality inventory and brand safety you can trust. Visit www.tritondigital.com to learn more.
It started as a handmade gift made by a teenager who was low on funds and needed a gift for his mom. It's now the legendary story of a present that became a hobby, that became an empire. After years of experimenting and perfecting their products, creating a brand that is the front runner in its category, and building a flagship store that has become a tourist destination for millions of people, you simply can't use one of their products without evoking a mood, an emotion, or a memory. And that's why it just makes sense that this episode of On Brand is on Yankee Candle.
We're all jazzed up, really having a cow. You want your favorite show, and it's on right now. It's on Brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa.
Hi, I'm Jon.
I'm Marisa.
So, Marisa, I don't know if you got my pun in there. When I said that it just makes sense, that's S-C-E-N-T-S, not S-E-N-S-E sense.
Oh, I got it, baby.
Oh, you did get it?
Oh,
Okay,
I got
good.
it.
I was worried. I was going to explain that in the thing.
Well, if anybody listening didn't get it, you're up to speed.
Yeah. So, I wanted to start today's episode. I got a very interesting question from one of our listeners.
Ooh.
And it was something that really made me think.
Well, we already told them your bra size.
Do you remember it?
38 C?
30C. Wait, is it? I think it was 30C.
No. No, it wasn't 30.
I don't.
36
I'll have to
is
go
like
into my
normal.
archives. I've
Okay.
blocked it out.
42?
I've been telling people it's 30C, but I'll have to see if it's actually.
Definitely not 30C.
I'll have to change my resume.
30C would be like a busty, like, fifth grader.
I'll take that. Oh, God. I thought that was behind me, but I'll have to look that up. No, so we got this question from Jill. Okay, let's get it all out. We've got the giggles. Al's laughing over here to my... he's shaking because he's laughing about my breast size. Let's all take a breath. I have a question from Jill from Lake Balboa. Now, this goes back to our Costco episode where we talked about how Costco sells coffins. So her question was, and this is one I'd never thought of, when I buy a Costco coffin, do I just bring it home? Or does Costco hold it until I die? What's the process of the Costco coffin? And I thought that was a really interesting question. I had no idea how to answer
That
it.
is a really good question.
Do you have any thoughts on what I now know the answer?
Did you call Costco corporate?
I have reached out to Costco and I have acquired the necessary information.
You know, with anything like a hole in the ground to be laid to rest in, I think that's maybe an arrangement you make prior, or a family will take care of it after you've passed.
Okay. I did not understand what you were saying about the hole in the ground.
I guess a burial plot is what I was saying.
Okay.
I don't know how that works, though. So what's the actual answer?
I think you're wrong. So what I have learned...
All I know is I bought a hole in the ground.
Wait, do you already have your...
No, I'm going to be here for a long time, baby. I'm
can't
healthy.
assume that.
I'm healthy as a horse.
We should look at holes. Do you know if you want to be cremated or buried?
I'd like to be thrown out into the sea.
Okay.
Eaten by fish. I know you want to be stuffed for a living museum in your home.
Yeah, I want to have a trust, and I want my apartment to continue. I want people to be able to visit. I want there to be a press penny machine. I want people to have a photo opportunity with me on the couch.
Are you on the press penny?
There's 4 designs.
Okay.
Any good press penny machine will have 4 designs. It'll be 4 highlights of my life.
Peeps.
Sitting at this podcast, a peep, the silhouette of a peep. So you guys are in charge of that because I'll be dead.
Great.
Anyway, so what I have learned is if you go to the Costco website, there's a casket frequently asked questions page.
Whoa, a dedicated coffin FAQ?
A dedicated coffin FAQ on the Costco website. And the answer to Jill's question, you can only buy the coffin after someone has died. The coffin can only be delivered to a funeral home or a place the funeral home has arranged for the body to be. It cannot be delivered to a private residence.
You can't get a coffin delivered to your home?
Why do you seem disappointed by that?
I mean,
have you been to a funeral?
Vampire play.
I was thinking about this week. If I had a coffin delivered to my home, like it's just like in the basement or just somewhere, and I picture there's the day where like I had planned to do laundry, I wash the sheets, I never get around to drying them. I'm like, well, the coffin's free, and then I just start sleeping in the coffin. It's so comfortable, and then I kind of full circle moment with my vampire childhood. But yeah, that's the answer to the question. You're not allowed. You also are not allowed to return a coffin.
It's the one stipulation in the very generous Costco return policy.
Yes, you cannot, unless it has shipping damage.
So if you accidentally bury your grandma and she was just taking a hard nap, that's final sale.
It's the final sale. Yes, that is a very good point. Make sure your loved one is dead.
Great to know.
And, like everything with Costco, it's a great price. They've picked like the most popular colors. You can't pick your own color. Yada, yada, yada. So that, I hope, answers your question, Jill. And now let's talk about Yankee Candle. You just learned what the brand is. I'm curious if you have any associations with it, your initial thoughts on Yankee.
Okay, Yankee Candle, a strong, emotional, physical, visceral, profound love of what they represent.
That's what you have?
Yes.
See, I always thought of them as like an old lady candle.
I probably owned one in my life because to me they do look ugly.
I don't love the look at them. There is a picture that's online. It's like the history of all the Yankee Candle jars. They all look the exact same.
I mean, a stupid sticker of like an Adirondack chair on the beach is like what goes to mind. But so part of me, I am so like profoundly basic. Like my taste level is so low. I don't care about things being like rare or like fancy or special. Like I really like am just moved by the emotional association with a product. So like something like Yankee Candle to me, it's just like so boring, pedestrian in like the sweetest, most wholesome way. Like have you ever stayed at like a bed and breakfast and like sure, on paper, is this what you would want your home to look like? No. A little like bless this mess, a little live, laugh, love. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want live, laugh, love on my wall, but when I see live, laugh, love, when I see a Yankee Candle with a stupid sticker of an Adirondack chair, I feel safe. I feel warm. I feel cozy. I'm happy as a dang clam.
Well, I'm sure that they would be very happy to hear that. They've worked very hard on that image.
Also, the scents are very strong. Very artificially scented in a way that I don't hate. But
do you know how Yankee Candles have that like, I don't know the right word, mottled look on them? They're not like a smooth color. They're kind of splotchy.
Splotchy, yeah.
That is because they use so much fragrance in the candle that the wax can't absorb it all.
Whoa.
And in the beginning, people thought it was kind of off-putting, that it just kind of looked like it was too homemade, but now it's become kind of a signature look for them.
It's a strong candle.
It is a strong candle. And according to someone that works at Yankee Candle, the factory does not smell good. Oh. Because when you make all those strong candles at once, and they said especially bacon, on bacon candle days, and yes, there's a Yankee Candle bacon candle.
Oh, God.
They say those are the worst days.
You got Colin sick on bacon day.
Yeah, sorry, everyone calls it. There's just like two guys that have a weird bacon fetish showing up on bacon day.
Bacon scented candle. Who is that for? Is that a gag gift? Is that a white elephant? Who's that for?
We've got a game coming up later in the episode, and we'll talk about scents and scent names and those sorts of things.
I want to see a 1-star review for a bacon scented Yankee Candle.
That's funny you say that, because I actually have 2 games I want to play, but I don't know that there's going to be time, so I have a feeling that we're just going to play one. So why don't we just dive into Yankee Candle? I want to introduce you to Mike Kittredge II. So in 1965, Mike Kittredge was an 8th grader. He was the lead guitarist in a rock band at school called the Bristol Curries. They had English influences. They loved the Kinks. They loved the Beatles. He was very... I don't know if meticulous is the right word. He was kind of the guy in the band that made sure that they rehearsed all the time and they were the best they could be when they would go out and play.
Like our Alistair.
Like our Alistair. I picture him actually English, like eating eggs and beans on toast. In 1968, they placed 3rd place in Battle of the Bands competition. And then slowly the band members started graduating, as often happens with high school bands, and the band dissipated. So here we have Mike. He's a senior in high school. It's coming upon the holidays. Ooh. And as you can imagine, being a senior in high school in 1969, you don't have a lot of money. You've been in a band. You're not making any money of that. He has no money, and he needs to get his mother a present.
Oh, boy.
Now, have you ever done like a homemade gift? This made me think of me. My first year of college, I was so poor. For Christmas, and now that I think about it, it's actually very sweet. I wrote everyone that was important to me a letter about why they were important to me, and then gave them a tea bag so that they could make a hot cup of tea and read about my love for them. And that was a very inexpensive gift, but that should be one of those things where like, wow, this really came from the heart.
That's a great budget gift idea. I love that you're kind of like almost creating like a full sensory, a 4D experience for them.
Absolutely, yeah.
I remember as a kid, I mean, I didn't have any money as a kid, like even as a teenager. So there were a lot of like homemade coupon books, maybe for like I'll make dinner or doing extra chores or get along with my sister, little coupons like that. I remember one year, my family, a hoarder and beyond, like just like things in the cabinets that haven't seen the light of day for 50 years. So I remember for gifts one year, maybe even Christmas, I dug around and unearthed like things from the past and like wrapped them up and like presented them as new gifts. And I remember that was kind of fun. So if you can live in a hoarder family, that's something you can do. Just dig up some old trash. Yeah. I mean, everyone can relate to that. You're broke, you're a kid. And yeah. What do you do? What do you do for the holidays?
I think it's a test of childhood to see how creative you can be in that situation.
Absolutely.
Well, I love that. So Mike did what I think most boys in 1969 would do. He went into his room and he found his old childhood crayons. Then he was walking around the house and he found an old candle. And then he's like, you know what? I'm going to melt these on the stove and then pour that into an old milk carton. I'm going to take the wick from that broken down candle and put it in and make my own homemade candle.
I love to. This is like so pre-internet that you would just have an idea for something and it's like, well, you're on your own, figure it out. Like now if you want to make a candle, you could be like so immersed in knowledge on how to do it.
Oh my, it's like me. Do you remember last year when I was like, all of a sudden now I'm going to make cake pops. And I like, the next day I went to Michael's. I had like every tool you need to make cake pops. I've never opened any of them. Half of it's in storage.
He made this candle like it was an emergency and his life depended on it. It was like, what do I have? MacGyver a candle this afternoon.
Yeah, and he must have done a good job because there was a neighbor over at the house, and when the candle was finished, she saw it and fell in love with it. And she's like, Mike, I want to buy that candle.
Fell in love with it.
Fell in love with this candle. I wish there was pictures of the candle.
What could it have possibly looked like that would make anybody fall in love with it?
Well, remember, it's 1969. So candles back then are probably pretty boring. And this is made with crayon, so there's splashes of color. Who knows what shape? Oh, we do know what shape it is. It's shaped like a milk carton. It's a very special candle. People were easier to please back then.
Maybe.
So he decides to, he's like, yeah, you know what? You can buy it. He sells it to her, I don't know why this price, for $1.36. That's about $11 today for anyone that's interested in inflation. Wow. Takes that money, buys some more wax, buys some more supplies, makes 2 new candles with that money. One is a gift for his mom, another one to sell. I think you can see where this is going.
Unbelievable.
This becomes his hobby. He, as fast as he's making these homemade candles, his friends and family are buying them. He just keeps cycling with taking the money that he gets, making more candles. And this goes on for a handful of years.
But like candles existed.
Candles existed, but
Like, how good are these candles that they're flying off the shelves?
Again, I'm going to point out that it's 1969, and up until, and this is part of the story later, candles were usually used for very specific reasons. You would use plain candles if the electricity went out, use candles to put in pumpkins.
A long taper.
A long taper for a special occasion or the holidays, and maybe they were just being nice. Maybe they just were throwing this kid a bone. But it seems like they were really into them.
God, to live in a time where you could just like make stupid homemade candles and people are like, this is going to make you a billionaire.
Listen, I like to keep the podcast positive. I will say that's the third time you've used the word stupid when talking about anything related to Yankee. I'm going to encourage us to be more uplifting.
And I do love them.
No, I know.
Do you know how many stupid things I love? Oh, boy. Could be here all day to listen to stupid things I love.
Mike did say that around the time he had made his fourth candle, he believed that he could make an empire out of this and employ all of his friends.
These aren't scented. These are just plain
At this
candles.
point, they're just unscented candles.
Can you even I know only the first one was crayon. Crayon.
Crayon.
We talked about how we both say.
We both say crown. I say crown.
I say cran.
I say crown. And when I ever heard that story, Jack and Jill fell down the hill and broke their crown. I thought they were talking about crayons, but it was their head, I think.
Like a crown.
I don't think it was a crown that they wear. I think it was like their skull. Right?
That story is about a boy bleeding to death from his skull.
I think it is. They weren't wearing it. Wasn't like a king's crown.
I say cran, C-R-A-N, like cranberry, like ocean spray cran.
Oh, okay. I say crown, like Crown Royale.
Tweet at us. Write us on Instagram how you say cran. Do you say cran? Do you say crown? Or do you say crown is insane, by the way. Who says crown?
I say crown. Go get my crowns.
No, you don't say crown.
I've always said crowns. I have.
Okay, so these are the three options. You can either say cran, like me.
Which is weird also.
Crown.
Which is cool.
Like John. Or crayon.
Or
Al,
crayon.
how do you say it?
You say crayon, like a normal person.
Crayon.
Okay,
two
so we have all
syllables.
three parties represented here. The crayon, and
Cast
crown.
your vote below. I'll say that this is a video.
Instagram's going to be popping.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's jump into the 70s for Yankee Candle. Now, the 70s for Yankee Candle, I call that the decade of figuring it out. So 1970...
Don't we all need a decade to figure it out, honey?
I think we had it. I think it passed.
Oh, no.
And if we don't have it figured out, it's too late.
Oh, no.
No, people will write, it's never too late. It is. It has become too late to figure it out. So 1973, he's turned this hobby into like a one-man business. He's still living at home at this point. So the parents' house is busting with boxes of wax, boxes of finished candles.
Do they open the refrigerator and a bunch of candles pour out?
Exactly. Like they sneeze and a pile of wicks blows across the room. It's madness.
I bet he was talking to his wife laying in bed at night and he was like, we got to get these damn candles out of here. I'm going insane.
I used to find you attractive, but now when I look at you, I just see this giant box of candles. So his dad helps him get this it used to be a paper mill. And then he really for a long time, just works alone. He described it as he would go in the morning, he would pour a bunch of candles. In the afternoon, he would change his clothes into business clothes, make sales calls, hustling to try to get his candles into places. And then when he was done with that, go back to finish the candles that he had started in the morning. So this is a guy that's really hustling it.
This is inspiring. This is inspiring. This is inspiring.
Okay, that time I believed it. It is inspiring.
Still no scent, right? Still no scent. Unscented white candles in jars flying off the shelves. I'm not saying it's stupid.
Marisa?
I didn't say it was stupid.
Marisa?
Yes.
1974? First scented candle
Fantastic.
hits the market. So now we have a scented candle. Early scent favorites, bayberry, cinnamon, cranberry, pine, French vanilla. That's all I have. Okay. They had very normal names back then. It wasn't like it is now where it's like Kitten's Whispers.
Island Breeze.
Well, Island Breeze I can kind of get. It's
Kitten Whispers is a real one?
No.
That smells like a cat's tongue.
Why do the whiskers?
Oh, I thought you said whispers.
Oh, did I? I don't even remember what I said. I either said whispers or whiskers. Okay, we're getting off track. 1976, Mike's able to bring in his first employee. All right, we're starting to grow.
Okay, coming.
1977, this is the end of the 70s. Yankee Candle's in the Boston Gift Show. If you don't know what a gift show is, it's where companies like that have gifts that they want to sell in stores go and buyers come and they see what they like. Yankee Candle was a huge hit.
And can you believe it? They were 20 years before Titanic was released in theaters. Do you think they even knew?
I'm going to get to Titanic. Don't even worry about it. Titanic's officially in my notes. But yes, that is a great point. We are 20 years outside of the release of the blockbuster Titanic as Yankee Candle is taking the gifting scene by storm.
Oh my gosh.
The new NBA and MLB season is in full swing, and BetOnline has you covered with the best odds and biggest promotions and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you looking for a new job or want a career change? Look no further than Monster.com. Need a little help standing out? Our expert resume writing services will make sure you shine. Want to brush up on your interview skills? Engage with our AI interview prep tool. Want some advice on negotiating your new salary? Visit our salary tools and extensive library of career advice articles, and you'll have all the tips and tricks you'll need to succeed. Visit Monster.com today and take the first step towards your career. Monster.com. Find your right job fit.
All right, the 80s. Now
I gotta see Matt Damon play this character. I'm sorry. I gotta see him at the show. Candles flying off his little folding table. I just gotta see it. I'm dying.
I love that everyone we talk about is at their prime age, and then you always want old Matt Damon to come in and play the role.
I'm in denial that Matt Damon is old. I think that's just what the fact is.
He's got to be. He's 50s, right?
I think he's at least 80.
Got to be 80 years old. I'm sure we'll have that information shortly. Mm-hmm. So now that we're in the 80s, I'm calling the 80s the decade of expansion. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot going on in the 80s. 1981, they introduced their mail order catalog. And in the beginning, it didn't have this, but it eventually would have scents. So you could smell the candles in the catalog.
Mail order catalog. That's something you'd be interested in.
Why?
Order some men straight to your home.
Oh, you were saying mail. M-A-L-E. And this is M-A-I-L.
But you'd be interested in it, right? A mail order catalog, M-A-L-E.
Yeah.
Order some men right to your door.
Sure, yeah.
No questions asked. They have to stay. It's the rule.
You trying to do toilet cam again? This feels very toilet cam. Is this your thing now? Just putting me on the spot?
It might be.
I was thinking, though, didn't you always love to have a magazine that had something that smelled in it, like a perfume sample? You would put it on and be like, wow, I'm wearing Gucci. Like, I'm super sophisticated.
I'm the fanciest woman in town. I mean, I'm like 11, but the fanciest woman in town.
Yeah, I just rubbed paper on my arm, but I'm the fanciest woman in town.
In my mind, I was always suspicious. And they would even in like ladies magazines, there would even almost be like a little foil thing of like some lipstick sometimes. I was always suspicious that that was the true formula because I'm like, how are you getting Chanel number 5 in this magazine factory? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know if your mother made you do this. My mother used to send me into department stores. As these pieces of my life come out, I think it'll make other pieces make sense.
Yeah.
As a child, my mother would send me into department stores to the fragrance department and ask for, they used to give out little vials,
samples.
little glass vials, and have me get as many of those for her as I could.
They still do that at Nordstrom.
Okay.
Nordstrom has a very generous sample policy, and they will decant any fragrance of your choosing.
Well, that's good to know.
So you would do that for your mama?
I would. She would also send me into tobacco stores to get empty cigar boxes.
Oh, those are fun.
Which I don't mind. I still love a cigar box.
I have so many cigar
I don't even know
boxes.
if they make them like they used to, but they used to be wood and cedar and smell great.
Speaking of department stores, I went into department stores to get, I didn't have any like nice makeup for my, I think it was prom. And so my mom sent me into a department store with like some empty pill bottles to shake like makeup samples into and then like sneak out of there.
Wow. We were
to get
really
my makeup to do at home.
Wow. I mean, that's genius.
Yeah.
For my prom, I don't know if you know this story. I was on house arrest. So I was
Why?
Because I had gotten caught shoplifting.
Oh God, yeah.
I got caught big time.
Sticky fingers Glover.
Yeah. So I was on house arrest, but my parents let me go out for prom. But my good friend Polly and I didn't go to prom. We just got dressed up and we went to the fancy restaurant on the river, the rotating restaurant. I don't know if you had one of those in your town, but like you go to the top floor and it just slowly moves around. It's really cool. I had escargot for the first time. And then I think, she'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, we went and saw Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That sounds super fun.
Yeah, it was a great time.
It's more fun than prom.
Yeah, who cares about prom?
Why don't we ever go to a rotating restaurant and eat escargot and then see a movie?
You just want to relive my prom night?
It sounds
I don't
nice.
know. There must still be rotating restaurants. The one that I went to, I feel like no longer rotates.
Sounds a bit nauseating to me.
No,
to be
it's
honest.
so slow. You don't even notice it. And then when you do notice it, you're like, wow, we're in a completely different part
Like,
of...
oh,
Yeah.
was that billboard always out that window? Did we rotate? Hang on. I'm done.
Okay, cool. All right, so now it's 1982. The company has over 30 employees, and they have just filled out this entire paper mill that they were in. So Mike is ready to go. There's no more room to grow. He's kind of over the city that he's in also, because every time he tried to get loans, they would never give them to him. The placement of the place is kind of inner city, and like it's just not the vibe. He really wants to create that country store vibe. So he gets property 20 miles away, moves everything, and builds this flagship store in the country, like in the woods, basically.
Whoa.
And this store, I feel like you would love this place.
Sure.
It's like a day. It's literally a destination that people go to. Now, I think it's called the Yankee Candle Village. It's got like a car museum. It's got like make your own candle. It's got a restaurant. The flagship store sells every cent that the company makes. It's like an entire like village day to spend the fall. They attract millions of customers a year. It's just this huge, which I didn't know that they had this.
That sounds really fun.
It's like the Disneyland of Yankee Candles. And people love it. The flagship store got the nickname of, they use the same pun as me, or I guess I use the same pun as them, the center of New England, which I thought was very
I
cute.
think we have to go.
We definitely should make a trip there. We should have done this live from there.
Oh, our producer
I think
has
we
a
have
note?
Al has some information for us, probably about Matt Damon.
Nope, Yankee Candle Village is hiring.
Oh!
Wow.
That-
What position?
Seasonal, full-time, and part-time hourly positions available.
Okay. What do they require?
It would make sense if they're hiring, because they do bring in a lot of people during these couple of months.
It definitely seems like a holiday hotspot.
Yeah.
Need a college degree? Can I do it?
Do you know what a candle maker is officially called?
No.
A chandler.
A chandler?
A chandler.
Like that's like the historical term, or that's what they call them?
Like on their like press release, they'll be like, "We now employ 1,000 chandlers."
I would hope that you subscribed to the Yankee Candle press releases, and you're going to be getting those in your email.
You know what I did do that was so fun? Do you ever use the Wayback Machine?
Yes.
I used the Wayback Machine and went to Yankee Candle's first webpage. And it's like a 1996 webpage.
That's fun.
And it's so cool. And some of the links still work. You can click on it. That's where I changed that early history I had of Yankee Candle, because now that is on their website, but they
gloss over the details.
Yeah, like it becomes like the first one from 1996. It's literally Mike talking, and like it had changed. Like the wax that he used to make his mom's candle was different now. Like there was always crayons, but it was like the story felt more real in that version.
It was more fresh in his mind.
Yeah. 1983, we've got Yankee Candle Village. We also have, for the first time, the company reaches sales of $1 million. That's $3 million today.
It's a lot of candles.
There's only like 10 years, really, since this company's been going, and it's $1 million company. Oh, you'll love this. This blew my mind. 1986 introduced the first full-color printing on labels. That sounds kind of like whatever, right?
Wow.
You know why that's a incredible fact? Because until then, they had been hand coloring the labels with colored pencils. Hand coloring the labels with colored pencils. They had colorers, just millions of candles, just filling in the apples or orange. You're fired. God damn. I hope they're not listening, because I am going to send that resume in.
Oh my God. That is wild.
Right? Now becomes a mind-blowing fact.
Why though? Like why? They were doing so well. Was that like part of their thing? Was that you get like a hand-drawn label and then like...
Yeah, it's probably
Okay.
just something that they had done for so long they didn't think about it. And then someone was finally like, hey, Mike, I I have a couple suggestions.
My hand's a bit cramped.
Yeah, no, everyone just has carpal tunnel at Yankee. No one can hold the glass jar anymore.
That is crazy.
All right, Mar. So I'd like to take you into the 90s now, if I could. And this is the decade that I call the exploding decade. And if you'll allow me, I just want to set the scene of the 90s for a moment, as seen through the eyes of scented candles.
Great.
So until now, like I was saying earlier, candles were used for very specific things. Emergencies, pumpkins. Hanukkah, special occasions. So in the 90s, everyone's lives start to get a little more chaotic. So what becomes more important to everybody at this time? Their home. Making their home a sanctuary.
Yes.
I don't know if you're too young for this, but at this time...
Probably.
We have Ralph Lauren. I don't know if you're too young for this, but we have Ralph Lauren making paints for Home Depot. Or do you remember those?
Oh, I remember that.
Okay. I thought you might. They were selling
I mean... It kind of rings a bell. Maybe my grandma was talking about it one time.
The only Ralph I know is Wreck-It Ralph. Who's this Ralph Lauren? You could also get Pottery Barn was making its big splash. Like home stores were really becoming a thing. And along with that, the scented candle started to skyrocket because with everyone creating their sanctuaries at home, the scented candle all of a sudden became a very affordable luxury item.
For sure.
And you start to see candles in places you didn't see candles before. The Gap, Banana Republic, grocery stores. Wow. They're just kind of coming up everywhere. Yankee is getting a lot of competition, but it's also already ahead of the game. So as this boom happens, they are on a ride.
On a completely different level.
On a completely different level. So this is a very good decade for Yankee Candle. Their sales just start to skyrocket. They start introducing more jar candles. On the thing, it'll be like, and then we introduce this jarred candle, and they all seem the same to me, but at this time, it kind of goes along with what I was saying. They introduced their home warmer jar, and it's for every room, there's an occasion. So people are also taking scents and making them very personal. So it's almost like your cologne. Like, this is my home scent. This is my body scent. Scent is just a big deal. 1991, Santa Claus makes his first helicopter arrival at the flagship store.
The Santa?
The Santa.
Is Santa your type?
No.
He's hairy.
No.
White furry chest.
Anyway, so Santa arrives by helicopter. It's a huge success. This becomes an annual tradition. They create the Bavarian Christmas Village at the flagship store. So this is now
fun.
You can get your year-round Christmas fix. There's always trees decorated. That becomes a huge deal. Now, unfortunately, in 1993, Mike has his first of what will be 2 cancer scares.
Oh, no.
I know. It sucks. And when this happens, he's one of those people that just has his hand in everything. He starts delegating some tasks to other people.
It's about time.
It's it's probably that time of his life anyway to do that. 1996, as I mentioned a second ago, the YankeeCandle.com is launched, which you can go on the Wayback Machine and see what it looked like. It's a very basic website, but it's fun to look at. So, like I said, everything big is happening in this decade for this company. As we all know, 1997, the blockbuster film Titanic came out.
Of course.
1998 comes, and he decides to sell the company.
What?
It's time.
Wow.
It's time. He's gone through health issues. It's just time to sell the company.
Sell outright? Like, not maintain any ownership? I'm going to have to see this document.
I don't have the document.
Get his
I just
lawyer
know what
on
it's
the line.
sold for. So I don't know if he kept anything. And now I feel like I have to look that up. But I don't believe that he did.
I mean, you might be right. You might be right. I don't think that's great business. But you know what? I'm not his financial advisor.
Well, okay, let's put you in 1998.
I just saw Titanic.
You just saw Titanic. You know how much Titanic made.
I have the Titanic. Well, it's a year after, so I have the Titanic double box set on VHS.
Yeah. How much would you sell, if you were Mike, how much would you sell the Yankee Candle Company for?
It would be really hard to put a price on it.
Of course, but if you could, it would help us out so much.
$200 million?
Why don't I give you $500 million for it?
Okay.
Do you think that price would work for you, Mike? $500 million that this man who started this empire from melting candles in his kitchen for his mother.
That's not too shabby.
29 years later, is selling it for $500
I'll sell the podcast for nothing less than $500 million.
I would probably sell the rights to this show for, I guess, that $200 million that you mentioned earlier.
You know, if anybody thinks they can do it better, go for it.
Actually, $100K, $5K, some Taylor Swift merch, all the variants.
Boy.
Oh,
A gently used popcorn bucket.
I don't need that, as we all know. Okay, so it's 1998. He has sold the company for $500 million. He did have a non-compete clause, which prevented him from starting a new candle company for a certain amount of time. So then he just kind of lives his best life. He builds this home that is unreal. The home is 25,000 square feet on 60 acres, 14 fireplaces, 25 bathrooms, 16 bedrooms, 4 tennis courts. It has a water park, an indoor water park. It's got 2 barns for his car collection that he now has. He's like Jay Leno.
This is insane.
Yeah, which are apparently pristine and kept spotless as museums, which Alistair would love. The entire property has brass-plated signs everywhere, directing you where to go. The main place that you want to get to is called the Spa, which is a 55,000 square foot playground and party space. The Spa has bowling alleys, plural, billiard room, a 2-story arcade, massage rooms, an indoor tennis. I mean, I could literally...
This is wild.
The tennis court can be converted into either a conference area or a stage where they've had concerts with the Doobie Brothers and Hall & Oates.
Wow. Who comes here?
It says that they have had parties that had upward of 400 guests. It said that there's always people kind of just living there in the guest spaces. I think he just
I'd love to just be secretly sleeping in the back of the bowling alley where the pins get set up. I'm just secretly living there for 5 years. He never knows.
I love that your dream is to be a squatter. If you were a friend of Mike's, you more than likely were going to be invited to stay at Juggler Meadow, which is what they called it, which to me sounds...
Juggler Meadow.
I know. It sounds like what one of their candles would be called.
Yeah.
And have a close-up of clown hands, juggling bowling pins. But yeah, and the person who wrote the article that I was getting this information from called it one of the hidden giants of the mega home world.
That is insane.
Right? This all came from a box of crayons. This kid melted a box of crayons, crowns, or crayon. I don't know how you say it. And built this mega home.
That is unreal. I mean, was he happy?
It sounds like after he sold the company, he got a yacht. He took his family around the world on a yacht. They would go on trips together. Yeah, so I think he had an amazing life.
Yeah, that does sound fun.
Not saying that he dies, but let's see where we go from here. In the year 2000, they now employ 1,000 chandlers, and we all know what that is. They make more than 80 million Yankee Candles that year. In the wake of 9/11, Yankee donates just thousands of candles to memorial services around the country, which I think is fantastic. 2010 comes around. Now, he has sold the company 12 years ago. He's getting that itch again. He's got that wax in his veins. Wants to get back in the candle game.
But he sold his company, he signed the non-compete, so...
But maybe the non-compete has run out by now. I'm thinking the non-compete is a 10-year thing. So he has his eye on another candle company.
Unbelievable. That greedy son of a bitch.
What candle company? The Kringle Candle Company.
Kringle, like Kris Kringle,
like
Christmas
Kris
man?
Kringle. Now, who do you think started the Kringle Candle Company? None other than Mike Kittredge III. His son has created, fallen in love with candles, built this company that he's ready to launch, used the same stove that Mike did to make his first candles.
Okay, that's beautiful.
And he's like, Dad, why don't you join me in this launch? The two get together. They launch Kringle Candle. Now, because of this podcast and my research, Kringle Candle comes up in my Facebook feed multiple times a day. It looks like a fantastic company, very similar to Yankee Candle.
Yeah, is the aesthetic the same or like the scents the same?
You know, at first I didn't think they were the same. They definitely have some streamlined looks, but then you start to dig around a little bit. They also have a jar candle. Like there's definitely and they tout it that it is from the family that created Yankee Candle.
Wow.
So I was unaware of this entirely separate company. So I thought it was very fascinating that there's this kind of sister company to Yankee Candle.
How's Kringle doing? Are they? Is it any competition?
Honestly, they seem to be doing great.
Okay.
Like their stuff looks slick. I'm sure Alistair's looking at it now.
I'll get a Kringle candle.
2012, unfortunately, Mike suffers a stroke.
Oh.
That limits his movement and speech. 2015, Yankee Candle Company hits $1 billion in sales for the first time. They produce over 200 million candles. 2019, Mike passes away. So he had, 11 years after he sold the company to live the best life that he was able to.
That's a pretty good life.
It is. And he seemed like a really good guy. He did end up employing one of the people that worked at Yankee Candle was one of the guys from his high school band.
That's cute.
There was other people from his high school. His wife was involved with the company. So it did seem like it was a friend and family affair. He seemed like a just one of those like cool guys who thought about so many things and was kind of like, I never heard of him until this.
Very low key.
Very low key guy.
So you're that rich. You have an indoor water park, but he's just like one guy. He's not always throwing a party. Some of the time, isn't he just bobbing alone in a wave pool?
You know who it makes me think of?
Who?
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Like at Neverland Ranch, just like riding the Ferris wheel by himself sometimes.
Totally.
Like, I don't know why he did that.
Why did you do that?
I don't know, but it wasn't bad.
Do you like candles?
See, okay, this is good. Now we're going to get into, why'd you
What?
ask that? Because this kind of falls into my crazy territory.
It is nice to stare into a flame.
No, I like candles. I have a habit of just buying. I have candles in the storage unit. I have candles everywhere.
Do you use candles?
I do, but not as often as I buy them.
So what will compel you to buy a candle? What's like when you're walking by, you're like, ooh, I should buy that candle.
The smell. Like
Okay.
if there's certain smells. Fig, I am a huge fan of fig candles.
But you won't then like, ooh, a candle. And then you buy it and then you put it on a little table and then light it. You don't do that.
Rarely.
What do you do?
I mean, I have them sitting out on the table.
Uh-huh.
I just don't use them much.
Okay. And then but then sometimes they get stored.
Yeah.
How many candles are we talking?
More than Peeps, for sure.
How many?
I couldn't give you a number, to be honest.
Tubs and tubs?
A tub, 2,
Oh,
maybe 2 tubs. No more than 2 tubs.
that's a lot.
It is a lot. Well, you don't find fig candles often. And last year, the year before, Anthropology had fig candles and they clearanced them out. And I really had
If we could learn anything from Mike, life's short. Burn your candles. What are you waiting for?
Yeah,
Burn
I
your
don't know what
candles.
it is. I don't know why I don't use them as often as I do. But listen, we'll analyze me another time.
If anybody has a theory on why John is scared of burning his
I'm
candles,
not scared. Don't put words into their
he
mouth.
sounds scared.
I'm not
to me.
scared at all.
Terrified.
2020. So Mike has passed away in 2019. 2020. Yankee Candle gets bombarded with negative reviews.
Oh no.
People are like, what is going on with your candles?
Wow.
Here's a couple of the reviews. I've bought this candle before and the fragrance would fill the room. This one barely has a scent.
Wow.
Boo.
A dud?
A dud.
Is it a fluke?
No scent whatsoever unless you face plant into the glass vessel.
Shouldn't do that.
Burned it for 8 hours and ta-da! No fragrance. 2020, they realized that there was a relation between peaks of COVID and bad reviews of Yankee Candles.
Loss of smell. Whoa.
Everyone was losing their sense of smell.
That is hilarious.
They call it the Yankee Candle Index.
That is so.
Isn't that insane?
Insane.
So everyone was like, I can't smell this thing. And they just had COVID.
Oh my God. I mean, honestly, like when you get your free COVID test in the mail, you should also get a free Yankee Candle. Because that's a good test.
Yeah, or if you're like scared of shots and you just go, no.
You think a Yankee Candle can substitute a COVID vaccine?
Yeah, now I'm picturing the candle curing you instead of just knowing if you have it.
That is really funny. I wonder if there's a lot of things that got that, like people complaining about no taste or no smell. That is really funny, like perfume or just even food.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was so interesting.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so I think that is kind of my story of Yankee Candle.
That's the funnest COVID fact.
That is the funnest COVID fact. I do like that one a lot. Now, if you don't mind, I would like to do what you do, because I've never done one, and give you a Yankee Candle boring fact of the week. In April 1997, at the request of customers, Yankee Candle released an unscented candle called Stormwatch. People loved the name, but were disappointed that it was unscented. So the company re-released it with a scent. And that was today's boring fact from Yankee Candle.
I just love, that makes me feel so less alone in the world to know that there were so many people that wrote a letter to Yankee Candle to make that change. I mean, this is like, so, sometimes you feel really powerless. It's like, does my voice matter in this world? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like that many people band together to make change.
Is it a tale of be careful what you wish for? There's a lot going on with this moment in 1990s. Wait, 1997.
Wait a minute.
What?
Stormwatch?
Titanic.
That might be the Titanic candle.
Wow, that's crazy. That was the
crazy.
Titanic candle. All right, so now a few fun facts.
Thank you for that boring fact, by the way.
You're very welcome. I don't know if you know this. Did you know when you smell a Yankee Candle, you're supposed to smell the lid, not the candle?
I thought you were supposed to say that you open your mouth while you smell it.
No.
Like wine.
No. Yeah, you're just trying to taste. Hold on. I may buy this. I just want to see if I like it. No. Do you have anything that's a little more citrusy? But no, the lid is designed to hold the fragrance. That's why it's like that bell shape.
It's a bit of a bell. It's a bit of a bowl.
You take it off, smell the lid. That's how you're supposed to see if you like
okay.
them. Did you know that Yankee Candle at one point produced scented puzzles, Alistair? 300-piece puzzles. Some of the pieces of the puzzle were shaped like the little bell jar of the Yankee
that's
Candle.
fun. And was the scene like a scene that matched the scent?
If you look at the Wikipedia, it literally says, and the pictures slightly resembled the fragrance that it was representing.
That's great, yeah.
Yes,
That's what I would want.
Good job.
Thank you. Well, I should work in marketing a Yankee Candle like with most companies.
Yeah.
They're hiring for
You
that
definitely
position.
could have a job at
I
this.
love the idea of a scented puzzle.
I know. Then you do it and you're like, maybe you
Well,
might get over it.
it's fun. Like, do you ever do this thing where you'll use a specific scent for just like one? Like when I went on a high school trip to New York City in 11th grade, I had one sample of perfume that I used that entire week. It was like Ralph Lauren Blue. And then now whenever I smell that, I'm like, I'm 16 again in the Big Apple watching the ball drop.
With patchouli. Patchouli
Yeah.
takes me back to high school so fast.
It's so fun. And so I think maybe if there was like one Christmas or every Christmas, you do this scented puzzle. Maybe it smells like cinnamon or something. Then you open that, you crack that puzzle, and then it's just you're flooded with all your fuzzy, warm Christmas memories.
Yeah, that would be good.
It's like you with the cinnamon brooms.
Yeah, cinnamon is definitely a triggering scent. And patchouli, I don't know if you know, Madonna, one of Madonna's CDs were scented like patchouli.
That's fun.
So sometimes you'll come across one of those at a thrift store, and I will always open it up, and it still has the
Very faintly there.
kiss of patchouli in it.
How many cinnamon brooms do you have in your car right now?
2.
How many? Any in your home?
No.
Just in your
only got
car.
2, yeah. And they're about out the door.
Do you throw that away with ease, or do you take a pause where you're like, well, it's still a nice broom?
Ease.
Ease?
I don't like I wish it was a different vessel. I'm not a fan of the broom.
Really?
I'm a fan of the smell.
Why don't you get the pine cones?
I guess I could. I never thought about driving around with a bunch of pine cones in my car. I mean, I guess it's no weirder than driving around with 2 brooms in my car. Next year, I will try the pine cones.
Yeah, just have some loose pine cones rattling around in your back seat.
Yeah, don't leave them in the bag. Just throw them all in the back seat.
Sounds nice.
My last fun fact, and this one I'll try to get through it quick. The company launches 50 new scents a year, and to choose them, they have this whole process. So they talk to people, they talk to trend researchers about what's trendy in food and lifestyle and home decor.
I'd kill for that job.
Right? I know. And the example that they gave is they have a candle called the Honey Lavender Gelato Candle, which was inspired by 3 trends: artisanal honey, gelato instead of ice cream, and unique food combinations. And I was like, wow,
Interesting.
they really put a lot of thought into what people might
I wonder
like.
what we could pitch as like, what do we think the trendy new candle scent should be? Artisanal honey. I don't even know if I was really clocking that as like, is that a trend? Artisanal honey?
Oh, yeah.
Artisanal honey's a trend?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Where are you seeing artisanal honey popping up?
I haven't, but no. Do you remember when Trader Joe's for Christmas would sell like the rainbow of honey?
Yes,
I
that
think
is
it's
fun.
like that. Like people do like honey that's made from like specific regions and specific flower. The bees are used specific flowers.
Yes.
It's a whole scene.
That's fun.
It seems like you would know that. You're a big bee You've made me sit and watch bee videos.
Oh, let me tell you, if you think you know bees, honey, you don't know shit. Watch one 10-minute YouTube video. Anyone, just look up like how bees work. Just look that up on YouTube. 10 minutes later, you'll have more questions than you began with.
Okay, and then I do have one, I do still have the game, but I have one, last touching story that I found with Yankee Candle that I would like to share. This was from a Reddit user who posted a photo of a candle that he had made after his wife had passed away. He took all of her Yankee candles and melted down all the remains of them into one candle.
Aww.
And her favorite one was called True Rose. So he said that he thought making this candle would be a good way to remember her, and during special times they would burn it, and smelling it would
That's
remind them
sweet.
of her, and it was something like a healing process for him and his children. Well, Yankee Candle got wind of this, and they helped him create a personalized True Rose candle with a photograph of his wife that he was able to pass out to his friends and family, which I thought was a very
That's
sweet
very nice.
Yeah.
Would you like us to do that with you after you pass away?
Well, there's a lot of there's probably enough candles just to give everybody a candle from the storage room.
If we had a John scented candle, what scent would it be?
I mean, I can't
You love
emphasize how
fig.
much I love a fig candle.
Okay. We'll have fig predominantly. Maybe we'll have a little bit of patchouli to take you back to your past.
Patchouli's a harsh scent, but sure, yeah, Diet Coke.
A little Diet Coke in there, a little aspartame.
If you can bottle loneliness into a scent, do that. Just a nice layer of all the complexities of my life.
think that's great.
Peeps, you should have a peep layer that's bright pink or yellow. I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Great.
All right, so I have a game that I would like to play. I call this game Sense or Nonsense.
Oh, great.
The game is I will give you the name of a Yankee Candle.
Okay.
You tell me, is it a Yankee Candle or is it nonsense that I made up? And you do realize I'm saying nonsense.
Yes, we all get it, yes.
E-N-T-S.
I think we all get it.
Not like nonsense.
Pretty clear.
Okay, so you got that. I was very proud of that name.
You should be. That was good. You didn't have
Okay.
to outsource it at all. You came up with that on your own?
All on my own.
Wow, that's good. You should be proud.
All right, so I'm just going to buy this candle. What's it called? A Pair Walks Into a Bar.
A pair walks into a bar.
A pair walks into a bar.
That has to be nonsense.
That is nonsense. All right. Turkey and stuffing.
Nonsense.
That is sense.
No.
They have a turkey and stuffing.
Oh, God.
candle.
Giblet bag?
Yeah. Once it melts down, there's a giblet bag in it. Or a wishbone. A porcelain wishbone.
Wishbone
Can you
inside the candle?
Oh, if only Mike were alive. What about, I love the smell of that candle. What's it called? Kitchen knife.
Kitchen knife.
Kitchen knife.
I gotta say nonsense for that one.
Mar, that's nonsense. 2x4.
A nonsense.
It's sense.
No!
It's sense.
It's wood?
It was a line of candles that they made. Well, I won't tell you because there's another one in here.
That feels like a gift for the husband.
Yeah.
Don't know what to get him for Father's Day. Sure, a candle that smells like wood. Whatever guys like.
Yeah, exactly. I hate that. Yeah, I feel like you're supposed to buy the men products, but a lot of times I like.
Anytime I see like a gift guide for men, it's always stuff like that.
Yeah, it's black packaging, black and chrome,
Yeah.
sandalwood. It's always sandalwood, and I hate sandalwood. I like bergamot. Whiskers on kittens.
Did you mention this one earlier?
I mentioned something similar.
Okay, this one I'm going to say is scents.
It is scent.
What does that smell like?
I don't know.
I don't want a candle that smells like a cat's mouth.
I know it does seem. I'm sure it's smells like cotton. Grandma's purse.
That one's scents.
No, that's nonsense.
Oh, darn. That would be nice. A little peppermint candy in there, a little wet wipe. What else is in Grandma's
little
purse?
cinnamon candy, like a little hint of cinnamon.
A little wad of tissues.
Kleenex. I mean, it's not a bad idea
Not
for
a
a
bad
candle
idea.
if you're being completely honest. Knock knock.
Nonsense.
It is damn nonsense.
What would knock knock smell like?
Like wood.
Uh-huh.
Like
Do you think there's 2 wood-scented candles with different names?
listen, yeah, they've been around for 60 years. Mantown.
Mantown?
Mantown.
Nonsense.
Scents.
No.
It's part of that line I was talking about.
Oh my
They
God.
made this handful of candles for men.
Leather.
There was one that was just
course.
leather. Yep. Last one. This candle is known as the 4P candle. Peter Piper's pickled pepper.
Known as the 4P candle?
It's the 4P.
Known where? On forums?
Yeah, forums. In that blog of the guy who keeps track of all the candles.
Sense.
Nonsense. It was nonsense. I did not think I could get you with that, but I did. You did very well. You got about half of them
You
right.
never know with Yankee. I mean, the shit they're pulling out of their ass.
I know. I really did think I mean, I didn't
never
think
know.
I made up Grandma's purse.
Grandma's purse is a great pitch. If they have a contest, I think Grandma's purse should be up there.
All right. Well, great job on Sense or Nonsense.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed learning about Yankee Candle. I enjoyed researching it and learning all about it.
Are you going to get a Yankee Candle now?
I have a couple.
Is it making it on the charm bracelet?
I don't know if I would do a Yankee charm.
Maybe a candle in general.
No, I don't feel like candles are important enough part of my life to do a charm.
Maybe just a fig.
Maybe a fig. Well, that's all I have for Yankee Candle. Do you have anything? Do you have any rants, raves, or brand news?
I have a brand news. So Campbell's on your shirt today, you remember them from our Campbell's episode, they have partnered with the candy company Philip Ashley. This is a high-end confectionery to make a limited edition holiday sides collection of candies inspired by Campbell's soup. So this is how many leaps of understanding there is. These are chocolates
Okay.
inspired by not Campbell's soups, but holiday sides that are loosely inspired by Campbell's soup. So this is 3 degrees away from making sense to me.
Oh, I'm assuming they're inspired by, with Thanksgiving sides, you use Campbell's soup to make that side.
You would think that.
Oh.
There's 6 soup-infused savory chocolates in the set featuring iconic Campbell's holiday recipes. So to me, I just would have loved to be a fly on the wall at this meeting.
Well, it definitely has to have green bean casserole.
Available for pre-order beginning November 7th. You were right. Green bean casserole, a Campbell's icon. Truffle brings out the umami flavors of the dish by featuring Campbell's cream of mushroom, condensed soup, green beans, and onion. Infused with sea salt in a dark chocolate fudge bonbon. Do we need this?
Wait, so it's literally a piece of chocolate with soup in it?
Yes. And green beans and onions.
That sounds horrible.
So to me, if I'm thinking of Campbell's influenced holiday side dishes, green bean casserole is kind of the only one. So then there's 5 more. I won't read all the descriptions. You can see them online at the Philip Ashley website. Jalapeno cheddar mac and cheese. Does that
That's not even a side.
have anything to do with Thanksgiving or Campbell's
No.
to you? Baked corn casserole.
Yes, definitely.
Campbell's cream of chicken soup is in there, and a white chocolate bonbon. I mean, this is hell. I can't.
This
I
is
can't.
the worst
imagine
thing that
eating this.
has ever been collabed. So that being said, I would love a free box. If
absolutely.
anyone from Campbell or this chocolate company is listening,
Send it to us immediately.
we'll give it a great review.
Hot honey mashed sweet potatoes. Which part of that feels Campbell's or Thanksgiving?
Or Thanksgiving, just normal mashed potatoes.
I know. So it was a sweet and spicy truffle with sweet potatoes, thyme, hot honey, and Campbell's cream of mushroom soup and milk in a chocolate bonbon.
Oh my God.
This is the weirdest one. This one to me is neither here nor there, neither anywhere. Everything bagel mashed potatoes. Honestly, everything bagel should be a trendy Yankee Candle.
That's a great idea.
Everything bagel mashed potatoes. This is a chocolate, keep in mind. A truffle. How do you even say this sentence? Cheddar cheese soup caramel. Campbell's cheddar cheese soup caramel. Just imagine the person pitching it in the meeting. God. So we took Campbell's cheddar cheese soup caramel, coated with everything bagel seasoning in a dark chocolate bonbon.
Can you buy that in king size, right?
I will say they do look beautiful. They're like splatter painted in like kind of a metallic chocolate. The box is lovely. This is a good gag gift if you have a white elephant. I think that's maybe its only purpose.
And if you're rich. This seems like you're going to get this as a gift from a rich person.
It's very like Birdie Bott's Every Flavor Beans, and I don't want anything to do with it unless it's free. Gratis. I will take it with pleasure.
We'll take it with pleasure. We'll eat them on pod. But yeah, those sound like vomit.
Yeah, so check out that online if you want to see more. Let's give some shout outs to some brand freaks. We have a comment from Simone Official on Instagram. This is in response to our Kleenex episode. She says, I owned a box of the man-sized Kleenex that I got at an estate sale. And I also have a peanut tip for Jon. He may already know this, though. Trader Joe's blister peanuts are more crunchy than regular peanuts and therefore have more crunchy connector if you're looking for something like that.
I do know that. I love those blister peanuts. They're like big. They're like kind of longer than normal peanuts. They're fantastic. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for seeing me.
So if anybody else likes a big crunchy connector like Jon and Simone Official on Instagram, then go to Trader Joe's, get the blister peanuts.
Yeah, and if anyone's the opposite of me and doesn't like connectors and you're just eating the two halves, feel free to send me your connectors.
You want connectors in the mail?
Just a buck. I just want something
An
free.
envelope of loose connectors?
We're 25 episodes into this thing and I haven't received one free thing.
Well, give your address in the pod, see what shows up.
Well, that is a fantastic shout out. I appreciate that.
Yes, and so as always, you can visit our Instagram page. You can leave us comments there. Maybe we'll give you a shout out. You can see video clips of the show if you want to see me and Jon in the flesh. If you have suggestions for a show you would like to do, a brand you would like us to talk about, you can get to us on Instagram or on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. Write something nice. It just makes our days, and it really helps the show, helps promote us to get to more listeners. Tell your friends. So we will be back next week with an all-new episode of On Brand.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.
Shopify's point of sale system helps you sell at every stage of your business. Need a fast and secure way to take payments in person? We've got you covered. How about card readers you can rely on anywhere you sell?
Thanks. Have a good one.
Yep, that too. Want one place to manage all your online and in-person sales? That's kind of our thing. Wherever you sell, businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 a month trial at shopify.com/listen. Shopify.com/listen.